Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. Thank you for joining me wherever you are joining me. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. It was I'm a little different. I'm not going to say it was a fantastic, weekend of NFL games. I don't know why they weren't scheduled better, like why we didn't have a 1 o'clock game on Saturday, why we needed a Monday night game. All you did was give the winning team one less day to prepare for their opponent than the other team has, which I think is ridiculous. You gave them one less day to rest than you did the other ones. If there's no other time that you should have equality in a playoffs, you should have equality in the game, it should come in the playoffs. The AFC should play on one day. The NFC should play on the other day. Or the higher seed should play on one day, the lower seed should play on the other day. However you want to do it. But you should not have teams playing on Saturday and then teams playing on Monday and then teams that have not played and think that it's all equal. It's not. That was the first misstep that I thought the NFL made. Now, is it a misstep from the money standpoint? No. It's never going to be a misstep from the money standpoint. That's the only reason they're in this game. It's not for the love of it. It's because it makes money, right? These owners, outside of maybe Jerry Jones, they don't love their franchises to a level where all they care about is winning. They love their franchises because they make money, because they are cash registers. So cool. Another reason why I won't say it was great is because we saw quarterbacks that were supposed to be great not be great. This was supposed to be a coming out party for several quarterbacks. So I'll take you back to Saturday. It was supposed to be a coming out party for Trevor Lawrence. They told us, it was all Urban Meyer's fault, and Trevor Lawrence would be better this year, and he's been better. He hasn't been like elite. He's been better. He was supposed to be the next Peyton Manning. He was supposed to be Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck all rolled into one with Cam Newton legs, right? He was supposed to be the next coming. He's not. He's just another promising young quarterback. He had a decent season. Then he came out and he threw 1 billion picks in the first half. And his team should have been blown out. His team should have been blown out. Instead, he was playing against another quarterback that everybody is trying to tell us is elite, who's done no elite things other than put up empty calorie stats. And so Justin Herbert on the other side, with all of his weapons except one receiver, with the defense playing lights out, causing 4 turnovers, with all of this going on, they put the ball, instead of putting the ball in running backs' hands, in a running game's hands, when you jump out on a team like that, they put the ball in Justin Herbert's hands. And they said, hey, just complete these passes. Just keep these chains moving. He couldn't do that. He had a subpar performance when everything was on him to be good, not even to be great, right? Not even to be great, just to be good. So we got to stop calling these guys like generational talents and ascending them to levels that they don't deserve to be in because they don't perform to that level. I just want you all to imagine in your minds if Lamar Jackson was in the same position as Justin Herbert, and the game was put into his hands as a passer, and he put up those types of numbers, and they got ran down and lost the game, people would be on here talking about he's a running back. You can't pay him money. That's why he's not elite. The league is caught up with him. All of the stuff that you say. If Jalen Hurts goes out there and do that, see, he's good. He's a great quarterback. He's going to be a great quarterback for you in the regular season, but in the playoffs, where it matters, no. So on and so forth. You know who you wouldn't say it about? Patrick Mahomes, because Patrick Mahomes has been there and done that. But you would say it about every other guy that fits that description. You'd have an issue with every other guy that fit that prescription, that subscription. Description. You understand what I'm saying? So we watch one guy who plays horribly and gets bailed out by the other guy, which allows him to then come on. And I'm supposed to forget about all of the stuff that he did that got his team in the situation they were in the first place. I'm supposed to stroke off Trevor Lawrence about a game where he was the curse, where he was the sickness, where he was the illness, and then he became the cure? Nah. That's not how this works. If he flipped it and he had the game that he had in the second half, in the first half, and ended with the game that he had in the first half and the second half, you'd kill him. So why can't we judge the entire performance? And why can't we say without any bias that if he had done that to any other team, not named the Chargers, that the Jaguars are going home and he never gets an opportunity to be the savior? If he did that versus name your AFC team. Name the AFC team. If he did that versus Buffalo, it's 50-0. If he did that against Kansas City, it's 75-0. If he did that versus Miami, they would have lost. If he did it versus Miami, they would have lost. So why are we out? If he did it versus Baltimore, they would have lost. Why? Because Baltimore would have ran the piss out the ball. They would have never had a chance to get back in it. If you did it versus Cincinnati, that's barbecue chicken. It's over. Why are we giving him props? Oh, because he did his job in the second half? He couldn't get any worse. We don't have to bump him to some mythological level because they won the game in spite of him. We sure as hell don't have to bump Justin Herbert to the level of Lamar and of Josh Allen, if you want to put Josh Allen up there, and Joe Burrow. I think that Patrick Mahomes is at a level all his own, so I wouldn't even put any of those guys in Patrick Mahomes' level because Mahomes is a one of one, and he's won a chip, and then he came back to the chip. So, like, for me, it's Mahomes, then it's those other guys where I would give a slight edge to Lamar because he's an MVP. And then you start to come down into this next tier of young guys who have a chance to be good, could turn into great. But I watched those guys. I was like, no. Don't lie to me. I watched as Daniel Jones was asked to do the same thing that Justin Herbert was asked to do. Daniel Jones with a legit running back behind him. The Giants said, hey, our best way of winning is for you to throw these passes Complete these passes. Keep this ball moving. That is what he said. That is what he said. And guess what? Dable put the ball in the hand of Daniel Jones, and Daniel Jones did exactly what he needed to do. Get those balls, get those passes to those receivers, let those receivers make plays. Right? That's what he did. Get those passes to the receivers, let the receivers make plays. Run when he needs to run to get out of trouble. Everybody tells me that Justin Herbert is bigger, faster, stronger, right? Better arm, more talented than Daniel Jones. Why couldn't he do that for his team? What happened to Josh Allen? Josh Allen was supposed to be Patrick Mahomes. He hasn't played well all season. Not consistently. He has been up and down all season. Yet all I keep hearing about was Dak Prescott and his struggles with interceptions. But nobody talked about Josh Allen and his struggles with interceptions. We got to stop elevating these guys beforehand. Everybody told us Josh Allen was going to be the MVP this year. Everybody told us he was going to be an MVP this year. They throw the ball all over the place. His statistics are not impressive for a team that throws the ball as much as he throws it. So now we have situations where we're being asked to elevate guys to levels that they don't deserve, to mythological levels that they do not deserve, to levels that you didn't raise other people to when they performed better or when they performed to similar level. Some of you guys are still out there. Some of you guys are actually still out there doubting. You're doubting Jalen Hurts. Some of you are still out there saying to yourself, oh, well, I don't know if Jalen Hurts is that good. Really? Like, that's what your thought process is? That's what your logic is? I don't know if Jalen Hurts is that good. I don't know if he can get it done. He has only won big time at every single level he has ever been at. I don't know what he did in youth league. I'm assuming he was a champion in youth league. Don't know what he did in middle school, but I'm assuming he was a champion in middle school because he was a champion in high school. He's a champion in college. He's a baller, a one-of-one in both of those levels. He's not going to be a one-of-one in the NFL. Somebody make it make sense. We're out here giving offensive coordinators who are supposed to be geniuses, right? Because that's what we were told. That's what we were told. In Miami, we were told that he was a genius. He thinks about the game different. He's playing chess while other people are playing checkers. They go out, they put a decent run into a team that's underachieving, right? Buffalo. Allen tried to get a game away with all those interceptions. Nobody said a word, by the way, but he tried to give the game away with those interceptions. Miami on their third string quarterback who has been asked to play, who has been asked to be ready on numerous occasions this year. It's not like he walked in and that was his first game, that he had never had any action. They shoot Mike McDaniel all the bail in the world for bad management down at the end. Oh, it's hard to call plays. It's difficult to call plays. You got to think about all the verbiage in a play. That's why it's hard. Nobody told you to have all that verbiage. None of that is necessary. I'm pretty sure that the play or the formation, the motion, and the play would work in the NFL the same way it works everywhere else. I'm pretty sure that coming up with concepts that have if-then statements in them built into the concept will work at the NFL level to where I don't have to individually tell all 11 players what they have to do on a play in a play call. I thought these quarterbacks were smart, right? I thought the quarterbacks were smart. So there's no excuse for it yet. We turn around and we see how awful Tom Brady has been this year. We see how bad he's been this year. We know that there's extenuating circumstances as to why he's been bad. I don't even put it all on him. I believe that it's difficult for a man to overcome the emotional trauma that he has had to suffer through this year. But we know he hasn't been optimal. We know he hasn't been that great. We know that the offensive line has been decimated by injuries. We know this. And yet, we don't put any blame on Tom Brady's play. It's all on the play caller. You should hear Tampa Bay media talk. They're the most miserable people I've ever seen in my life. It makes you wonder if they even like sports or if they only like it when the Bucs are good. They only like it when it's a championship because they look miserable. They sound miserable. Woe is me. Buccaneers fans, and especially Buccaneers media. We, as Buccaneers fans, have enjoyed something we didn't even deserve. We didn't deserve to get Tom Brady. He came there. He delivered a championship. The next year we came back. You could see the decline happening, but we got back in it. Thought we might have had a chance. We didn't improve anything. We didn't make any moves for the future. We just stood pat with a bunch of old dudes who eventually were going to get injured. And guess what? They retired. They got injured. They had life stuff happen. What did you think was going to happen? We saw the regression already starting to happen in year 2. In year 3, instead of injecting new blood, like with good like quality things, more people retired, more people got hurt, people left in free agency. We didn't get better, we got worse. And while getting worse, and then going through injuries, and then you're a quarterback having an absolute meltdown of a life on national television, by the way, which all of you reported about ad nauseum. You didn't expect the team to struggle. It's all on the offensive coordinator because he doesn't scheme anybody open. I'm seeing people run open all over the field. I'm seeing Tom Brady not hit him. I'm seeing people running wide open, Tom Brady not hitting them. It's the offensive coordinator. Oh, I'll be so happy when I don't have to see this head coach anymore. I'll be happy when the offensive coordinator is not there anymore. Oh, goodbye to, good. Really? Imagine if people acted like that with your jobs. When you do crappy work, when you have stuff going on in your life that doesn't allow you to be at your optimal, when you know that it's not even your fault that your work isn't as good as it should be because it's predicated on other people doing it. A year ago, Byron Leftwich was up for a head coaching position that he turned down to stay with Tampa Bay because he didn't like the situation over there. He's like, you know what? I'm going to stay with Tampa Bay. He turned that down only at every single turn over the last 2 years for you guys to question what he does and how he does it. The same guy who was calling plays, I know you don't like to admit it because you think BA was calling plays. But unless you want to call BA a liar, the person that was calling plays was Byron Leftwich. That same guy got you to a championship and won a championship after the team was horrible for years upon years upon years after they screwed over Raheem Morris. These are the myths that we deal with every single day. I love the fact, by the way, that Peyton Manning came out and debunked the myth I love that Peyton Manning debunked the myth, right? That he debunked the myth that there's a whole lot of halftime adjustments going on. Right? I love the fact that he debunked that myth. Because you know how much time you have? What adjustments are you really making that's going, other than, hey, let's try this play, let's try that play. There's no wholesale changes coming. It's how can we do our job better? What curveball do we have to go with our fastball? I love that. I love that he brought it up. Maybe you'll believe it from a Peyton Manning. And to you, miserable, no account bandwagon jumping Bucks fans, we'll see you again when the Bucks are good. Until then, crawl back into your shanties. Crawl back into the holes that you came from. Go back out into the places where you hang at and just rag on the Bucks until they're good again, or at least until they're good to your level again. I see you. I recognize you. I don't respect it. I don't respect it. I never have. I never will. You people are lame. And I'm here to say it as a Buccaneers fan since I've ever been involved in football, since I've ever liked football. The moment I stepped foot in Tampa Bay as a young kid, I was a Buccaneers fan. I remember all of those years where you could just walk up to the stadium and get a ticket. I remember getting good. I remember winning a championship. And now all of the fans came out of the woodwork and you couldn't get a ticket. You had to be on a 10-year waiting list. Then I remember them becoming poor. I remember them being bad. And I remember being able to walk right back up again and get a ticket. And then Tom Brady showed up, and all of a sudden fans just jumped out of the woodwork again. You Johnny-come-latelys suck. You suck. I'm saying it aloud. If you don't like it, that's cool. Hit me up. You know who I am. You know where I'm at. I am speaking as a fan right now when it comes to the Buccaneers. There's zero loyalty in you guys. And you don't know when to come off people and when to be and when to be loyal to them. You don't even know the difference. If after that Super Bowl, if they'd have came in and made wholesale changes, I would have been 100% okay with it. You guys would have been like, what are we doing? We should run it back. Yo, you know how old our team is? The people who matter. You know how old they are? How about let's put some young talent in place? Nah, let's just complain when the team that we knew was getting old gets old in front of us. The team that we knew that was 1 or 2 injuries away from sucking gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 injuries, and now they suck. The team that we knew at some point the quarterback was going to hit a drop gets a national divorce, and now we see it. What are we surprised about? You think an offensive coordinator is going to change that? We just saw y'all make excuses for the head coach offensive coordinator in Miami when he had injuries. We saw y'all make excuses. We saw you make excuses for the quarterback in LA with the Chargers when he had injuries. We see y'all make excuses for everybody except. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. And as we get into this playoffs and we get into the offseason, it's just going to get spicier and spicier. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Talk Spicy. I'm Coach Gene Clemens. We do this thing a few times a week. Rate the show, comment, agree, disagree, but whatever you do, keep it spicy. 5-star ratings are appreciated. If you're joining me on the YouTube channel, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Shout out to the Facebook fam. Y'all always holding me down as well. Until next time.